Hey there everyone, welcome back to the ModzCity channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be installing our shifter bushing kit. So we plan to remove everything here, get this sorted out so that we can have some better shifts. And it's a simple kit from Atkins Rotary, so shout out to Atkins Rotary, link in the description below. So let's jump into it and work on this RX7. Alright, so first up we're going to remove all of this here, the trim. So let's go ahead and remove our shift knob first. Alright, we need to remove these very gently because they are very old clips, so we don't want to break them. I actually broke one of these before, so this is actually a replacement. So we have to be very careful not to break this stuff. Should just pop out like that. There we go. There we go. And underneath here, just removing all of these clips. One there. One here. Try not to break anything. Alright, so that's one. Clips on the back here. And I have a few of them. Alright, so now there are 4 bolts here. I hope you guys can see that. There are 4 bolts that we need to remove. There are nuts here, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can just remove this one by lifting this off. It's just for the harness, so it's out of the way. There should be 10mm bolts, and then we'll remove this and then go from there. Alright, let's go ahead and lift this boot off. It's 2 sections, so 1, 2. And we have the lower boot, which lifts up with everything here, and mine is torn. There's a huge tear in mine, so probably should get that replaced eventually. There are 3 bolts here, 1, 2, 3, that we need to remove in order to lift the shifter out. Alright, so let's get to that now, and they should be the same 10mm bolts. Yes, they are. Alright, here we go, and we just lift that out, and there we have it. So we're going to be changing a lot of these parts. Here's what the shifter looks like with my torn boot here. Alright, so the plastic piece that fits in here is down in there, so I have to get that out, so that should be fun. But replacing it with an aluminum bushing here, so it's the Atkins Rotary shifter bushing 000029402. Interested to hit up Atkins Rotary. And they also have the bushing kit, which has new leaf springs in there. Important to point out that these lower washers here, they have a groove that you have to slide them in under, so you need to make sure that you have that lined up, and also lined up on this side here where you have this little shifter mechanism here. So we pop that out, get some grease in it, and then put the new one back on. All right, so let's get some pliers and get that out. Oh, okay, I see the problem. So there was a stock bushing in there, and it totally disintegrated to nothing. So basically there was no bushing in there, so that makes it interesting. There is fluid in there, so that's a good sign. Looks to be okay. So I guess we'll just move on to getting the rest of the shifter bushing set up before we put it back in. What we can do in the meantime is get out the lower washer here, and it should just pop out. And by pop out I mean it should, there we go. So that's it here. Alright, so we put one back in, and here is the spring that I was mentioning. It's kind of like a leaf spring. I'm not sure if that's what they call it, but leaf spring, I believe it's what it's called. We'll just use some paper towels here, clean up just the area, get that sorted out. So I'm getting it ready for the new one, and I'll go ahead and clean out inside the shifter bushing casing as well, because we're going to be using a lot of grease to pack in there so that it will be nice and smooth and easy to shift. Put our washer down here, as this one already has the leaf spring connected to it, so it's good to go. Alright, so we just need to line up this groove here with the pin here. So let's get that in. There we go. Alright, so it's sitting nice and flush in there, brand new bushing in there, well, washer in there and the spring. So now let's move on to this bushing here. We'll remove this one, but first we're going to take out this so that we can clean it up and then get some new grease in there. And this is what lines up with the pin on the actual shifter itself. So this slides into the pin here, so you have to make sure that this lines up when you're slotting it back in. You line it up with this groove here. Alright, so let's take this out for now. We're gonna pick. There we go. So we pull it up and it has this little pin in there. And now I see that mine is broken. This is great because I don't have another one of this. So FYI, when doing a rebuild, just buy everything in the kit that the kit requires. Alright, so we need to get this off going up here so that we can slide this up and get it out of the way. But this is not budging right now. Let's see. Oh, it seems to be making some progress. There we go. Here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get this piece here to slide up over here so that we can remove these pieces here. So you see this washer here, it can't come down here, so it has to move up, right? So just need to kind of cut some pieces of the rubber off. It's already torn, so it's no big deal. So we're just going to try and cut around the edges here. Hope you guys can try and see that. So it's already old, already torn, so it's not hurting anything else. Need some new boots for sure. So I'm just cutting the pieces of the rubber, as you can see here. Alright, just to give me some leeway to make it be able to pass the actual shifter. Alright, see if we can get this to pass. Alright, there we go. Phew. That was a handful, trying to get this piece just to come out here. So finally got it out. We'll go ahead and clean this up, get this old gasket off because we have a new one. And then now we should be able to slide this washer over this, what's left of this boot. See if we can get it to pass. Something to help me push the rubber underneath. There we go. Sliding it around. Alright. Perfect. Perfecto. Got it. Alright. So this is what's left of the boot. Not much. Probably should just cut it off, right? I mean, it's not doing anything really. So let's do that. Let's just use our box cutter and say bye-bye. Here we go. And now it's done. Alright, so let's clean this up a bit. Let's degrease it maybe. Get some sandpaper on it, making it look a little bit shinier. And then see if we can repair the damaged piece that goes in here. That might be tough, but we'll have to work with it for now because I don't have a replacement. And yeah, then we can clean up this one as well and get the old gasket off. So let's do that now. Cleaning it just a bit, nothing too crazy, just so that we have a little bit easier time, carrying everything back on. So let's go ahead and clean up the other bit, which has the gasket on it. It's an old gasket. You can see it's already peeling off. So hopefully it will just come right off. Let's try. Alright, this seems to be working. There we go. Let's get underneath, like peeling an orange. This gasket has never been changed from the day the car was born. That is for sure. Alright, there you go. So let's just use some sandpaper just to make it nice and smooth. And there we go. All nice and clean now, ready for the new gasket. Alright, so let's move to fitting up back the shifter, and we'll get the new piece on the end here where the ball is, so we'll get a lot of grease on there and tap that in and then get the rest on. So let's do that now. Alright, in the rest of the kit we have a new gasket that will go on to that piece, and then a new top washer here. Alright, now remember, it has to go into that groove there. That groove there has to line up with the shifter, so we'll have to make sure that goes well. The first thing we'll do is get our new washer on. That connect up our new gasket on there. It's not going to stay, so I'm going to use some grease just to hold it on there so that when we slide this on, it doesn't drop off. So if I do this now, it's just going to, yeah, it's already dropping off, right? So we just put some grease on that just to get it held on there. And we have our shifter bushing here from Atkins Rotary again. Wasn't expensive, very cheap. It's an aluminum one, it fits down into the shifter, so we'll go ahead and get that installed on here. It attaches here, but you have to really tap it in for it to sit and fit in there. So I'm going to pack this with some grease and then we can go from there. Okay, I have my grease. I'm going to use some paper towels because this will get kind of messy real quick. Just putting some in there. Just packing it in there. Just packing it all in there. When the ball goes in, it will be good to go. I'll also put some on the outsides as well, so before I put it down into the actual shifter housing. So let's get this on here. A lot of it is coming out, but that's fine. Just use that excess on the outsides. Get that nice and lubed up. And just packing it all over, making sure everything is nice and lubricated, and getting some inside here in the slot as well. And on the ball and everything. Alright, looking good. Need some repairs to the actual piece that was broken on this piece here. So I just glued it together, but we'll have to get another one. But I think we can suffice with getting it on there. I glued it together. Seems to be holding well using some Gorilla Glue, in case you're wondering. So let's just slot this down in here. Nice and easy. Slot it in, ready to be installed again. Some grease on our gasket just to keep it in place so that it doesn't fall off, because it will drop off. Alright, there we go. It shouldn't be falling off now, so that would give us a fair amount of time to drop it in there without it falling off. Next up, we're going to get this onto the shifter, and then we'll slide the shifter down, remembering to line up this slot here with the little protrusion out in the shifter. I'll show you on another camera angle soon, but we're going to go ahead and install now and line up everything accordingly. There we go. Make sure it's all lubed up and ready to go. The outsides are here. Alright, let's try this again. And then we'll slide them in there. There we go. Nice and easy in there. There we go. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Fitted well. slide it over here and line it up. There we go. Alright, so now it's a matter of doing everything in reverse. 3 10mm bolts. Alright, those are bolted in. I must say it feels a lot better. Both first. And then this one. Alright, now that we have tightened everything up, we can go ahead and reinstall our centerpiece. So the shifter install went well. Definitely fits perfectly in there, and it actually feels a lot better. It's a lot looser in terms of like the feel, and it goes into gear a lot better. So definitely a success for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I appreciate the support. Please consider subscribing, hitting that thumbs up button. If you're interested in any of our merch, please hit up ModzCity.com. Link is in the description. Hit us up on IG as well, and you can DM us for a special discount code on our merch. And we look forward to working on this car again. The next step is to try and fix the speedo. The speedo has stopped working, as well as the odometer. So I don't know how far I traveled. I don't know how fast I'm going. So a lot of people on the forums said that, you know, it's more than likely the speedometer sensor in the gearbox. So there's a small little sensor that fits into the gearbox. So I'll go ahead and order that from Japan and then install it, and let's see if that fixes the speedometer and the odometer, and we go from there. So thanks so much for watching, and again, please consider subscribing and hitting that thumbs up button. Until next time, drive safe.